Hello everyone and welcome back to the Music Dungeon with me, Mac Plays Banjo. Welcome back to Banjo Player Review Time. This is a banjo player who was on the list of the 35 best banjo players that I reacted to, I think last week sometime, and I casually mentioned that he probably shouldn't be on the 35 best banjo players list, and I think a few people got mad about it, so I decided that it might be fun if I went on the old YouTube and watched a few videos of him playing and did a little bit of rating for him. Is he really good? Should he be one of the 35 best banjo players? Or does he suck and should not be on that list? Well, today we're going to find out. This is Kermit the Frog. There are a couple of videos of him playing the banjo, and we're going to go in. I'm going to do a little bit of expert analysis and determine just how good of a banjo player he is. Should he be on that list? Should he not? We'll see. Let's get right into it. All right, this is Steve Martin and Kermit the Frog playing dueling banjos. This should be a pretty good indicator of Kermit's skill, putting him up against Steve Martin. First up, this isn't about Kermit's playing, but if you're listening to this with headphones, the panning is insane. Steve Martin is all the way over here. Wait, what the heck? Okay, you aren't going to be able to tell this if you aren't listening with headphones or like a stereo system, but Steve Martin is all on the right side and then Kermit is like right down the middle. That's so weird. When you put Kermit on the left side, I don't know. Mixing's weird. All right, let's go back and listen to Kermit. Ooh. That's not very good tone. I'm not a fan of that. It sounds kind of like maybe the head is too tight and he's playing right down by the bridge, which you can debate if that's a good sound or not, but for me, like, there's no body in it. It doesn't have any warmth or anything, and even if you want a punchy sound, there are better ways to get it than just like tightening the head down really tight and just picking it like that. So not a fan of his tone so far. Yeah, it just sounds pinched, doesn't it? Like it's not a good tone. It almost kind of sounds like a toy. Almost if you had a toy banjo, it kind of sounds like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a toy banjo, but then the mixing engineer put on an insane amount of reverb to make it sound bigger, and it doesn't work. Kermit, if you're watching this, you need to loosen your head up and play closer to the neck, and maybe get just a different banjo because it sounds pretty terrible. I don't know what brand this is. Um, I don't think this is like a pre-war or like a really good Peruka or anything like that. It kind of looks goofy, to be honest. I don't want to dog on his axe, but it does. It looks pretty bad. Kermit, you have the money. Just buy a better banjo. Uh, yeah, let's keep watching.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wasn't a very good accelerando from Kermit. I gotta be honest. He kind of just went straight into the higher tempo without going into it. If you're really wanting to play this song well, you should really kind of start at the slower speed and then speed up gradually. Kermit kind of sounded like he was rushing it there. So, not a fan. Kermit's backup is not very good rhythmically. Let's listen to this. Yeah, Kermit's not even on beat. He's kind of rushing it, and yeah, dude, this guy's a mess. Oh my gosh. Kermit, you need to work with the metronome. That's another thing you need to work on. This is pretty. It's you're not comping for him very well. Your backup is pretty bad. You need to work on that. Maybe get a teacher. I can teach you. You can contact me for lessons. My email's in the description. I will gladly teach you, Kermit. Okay, another issue here. Watch his left hand and just observe how much movement there is. Okay, you see that? His left hand is like doing this the whole time, which is really bad. You need to keep it as tight and close to the strings as possible. That will help you with playing faster because there's less movement to get in the way. That will help you with playing cleaner. That will help you with just longevity. You're less likely to get issues from playing long term. So yeah, Kermit, you really need to work on your economy of motion. This is pretty embarrassing for me. And 7.6 million views. Wow. I would be embarrassed if 7.6 million people saw me playing like this. So Kermit, contact me for lessons. Little sloppy. Rushing again. This dude needs to work with a metronome like crazy. Again, his backup isn't very good. Not impressed. Not impressed at all. That, dude, Kermit, you need to get to work. Let's watch another video because that was pretty bad. He definitely is not one of the 35 best players of all time unless, hey, hold on. Let's give him a little slack. This video was 12 years ago. Maybe he had just started playing. This next one's from 5 years ago. So he's had 7 years of progress between these videos. Maybe he's really, really good and that's how he got on the list. But we will see. But after that, I'm expected to be blown away by his playing, okay? Okay, so he's outside. This is a raw recording. No cuts, I'm assuming. So we're going to get a very accurate portrayal of his playing. Okay, first up, I know he hasn't started playing yet, but let's all look at his right hand. Now, that bend in his wrist is pretty severe. And again, that's kind of like the economy of motion thing. This isn't going to be good for your hand long term. You're not going to be able to play as long because you're going to get some sort of issues playing like this. Also, it just kind of strains your hand and you're not going to be able to play as well. What I want to see Kermit do here is straighten out his wrist, put the thumb on the back of the neck most of the time. You can let it slide up over the side of the neck when that's comfortable, but most of the time your thumb should be kind of on the back of the neck behind your middle finger. That will lead to being able to play better, faster, more accurately, and for a longer period of your life. So Kermit, straighten out that wrist. Okay, I think his tone is a little bit better this time. It sounds less like a goofy little toy than the last video, but still not awesome. See how awkward his fretting hand looks? It's because of that bent wrist. If he straightened out his wrist, it'd be a lot easier, a lot more natural to fret down notes.
Why are there so...
Also, his left arm is exhibiting a lot of movement that is unnecessary. He's moving his whole arm for every stroke with the pick. You should really keep the upper portion of your arm pretty still, and then you can bend at the elbow to get, since he's using a flat pick for some reason, obviously he should be using 3-finger picks because that's the law. I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules. But yeah, honestly, Kermit is just exhibiting a lot of lost motion. Not good stuff, not good stuff.
So many songs about rainbows and what's on the other side.
I will say, something that is good about his playing with the movement is that I'm not seeing, I think, any movement in his in his fretting fingers. It's like they're connected to the neck somehow, and that's what you wanna. That's what you want to see because economy of motion, right? The least amount of movement possible. His fingers aren't like flailing around the fretboard or anything. They're just very locked in, almost like they're glued to it. And that's good because even though his wrist is kind of bent, he isn't doing much movement in those fingers, and that's good. That's the first good thing about his playing, I have to say. Everything else sucks.
Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
I think he could have a little bit more rhythmic precision or something. It's just kind of going up and down without a considered reason for it. I don't know, dude. He needs to practice.
Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing?
Okay. Again, with his tone, I think if he loosened his head a little bit, brought his hand a little bit closer to the fingerboard, and maybe just got a completely different banjo, I think he would have a better tone. And I think that's important for accompanying his singing because he's going to want some sort of warmer, darker tone. He doesn't need to cut through a band with his tone. He doesn't need to be heard super well. It can be kind of as big and as dark as he wants. And it should be a lot bigger and darker than it is because right now it's just kind of small and tinny and doesn't sound very good. So I would definitely recommend working on your tone, Kermit, to get a little bit fuller and it will accompany your singing, which is very good, by the way. It's better than I can sing for sure. I think that sort of tone will accompany your singing a lot better, though.
And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me, all of us on.
That was a nice moment with the backup.
We know that it's probably magic.
Okay.
Have you been,
Little harmonic complexity there.
and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name.
You just say that he hears voices? Kermit is schizophrenic.
The sweet sound that calls the young sailors. The voice might be one and the same.
Sounds like he messed up there a little bit. But he got back on track. That was good.
Times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da doo. La da 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 dee da doo.
Okay. The singing was nice. The banjo playing was not nice. Kermit, you need lessons. Please contact me or anyone else to give you lessons. So, at the end of the day, what's wrong with Kermit's playing? First up, his tone is pretty atrocious. Already covered that. Second up, he has tons of lost motion. He needs to have less extraneous movement when he's playing, or he's going to mess up his hands and stuff. And 3, his timing needs a lot of work. It was pretty nasty. So overall, what's my rating of Kermit? I'm sorry I have to do this. I've never done this on the channel before, but I have to give Kermit a thumbs down. Kermit, if you're watching this, you need to start practicing and practicing like crazy. I know you think you're great. You're playing with Steve Martin. Have I ever played with Steve Martin? No. I'm a loser compared to you. You're way more successful than me, but I do play banjo better than you. And I've never said that better. I've never said that on the channel before. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I am better than you, Kermit. And that should shame you because I'm not that good. So this is kind of a depressing video to make. I had to call him out, but I think it's my duty to tell him the truth so that he can start practicing and become worthy of being on that best 35 players list. Because right now, I'm sorry, Kermit, but you're not worthy of being on that list. Maybe someday, but you're going to need to practice a lot. So sorry, guys, kind of a depressing video, I know, but I think this had to be said. And I appreciate you watching all the way to the end. So hope this doesn't ruin your day, Kermit. Your singing voice sounded great. But your banjo playing did not. So anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.